Hey Collective, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day today. So today, I want to talk about alcohol and how it keeps you trapped in a cycle of suffering. Alcohol is something I've always seen as a paradox. I've never been a drinker. I didn't grow up in a household with parents who drank. But somehow, I found myself married to an alcoholic. He didn't start out that way. But about 5 years into a 20-year marriage, he became that way. And I somehow found myself paying for someone else's addiction. Alcohol became the mistress, the third party that I couldn't get rid of. So needless to say, I'm fascinated by people's pull towards it. Medically, there is not one solitary beneficial use for alcohol. It has zero benefits. Recent studies conclude there is no level of alcohol consumption safe for our health. Which made me want to research it more on a spiritual level, and it explained a lot to me. It explained why I instinctively knew to always stay away from it, and it also explained why so many feel that they need it nowadays. Alcohol has a secret origin tied to ancient mysticism and alchemy. The term alcohol, or alkuhul, originates from Arabic, where it was initially used to describe a fine powdered substance made from antimony. Often applied to the eyes as kohl, it was believed to purify vision, physically and symbolically. It was supposed to enhance one's ability to see beyond surface realities. In alchemy, alcohol aligns with the principle of transformation, which is a core tenet of spiritual practices. Distillation, the process of extracting pure essence, is oddly similar to the refinement the soul goes through with spiritual practices. But when the essence is over-applied, like in the overuse of alcohol, it becomes a deceptive substitute for true spiritual transformation. The process of distillation, how you create alcohol, mirrors spiritual alchemy. In physical terms, distillation separates the pure from the impure, which yields a concentrated product. Mystically, this corresponds to the soul's journey through the trials of existence to then emerge purified and closer to the divine. But alcohol is more of a paradoxical metaphor in this context. Yes, it is the product of a refined process, but its consumption leads to disconnection rather than union of oneself. Alchemy seeks to distill the spiritual essence into one of higher consciousness, clarity, and divine connection. Alcohol, as a physical substance, is the shadow side of this experience. It alters perception and consciousness and is only a shadow of true inner transformation that is achieved through self-discipline, meditation or mindfulness, and self-control. It doesn't uplift the soul. Alcohol actually anchors you further into the material realm. In mystical traditions, the soul is seen as a flame or light, always seeking to connect with its divine source. Alcohol by nature lowers the vibrational frequency of the body and mind, making it harder for the soul to resonate with higher vibrational people. You see, you can't mix lower vibrational people with higher vibrational people for too long. That math don't math. And higher spiritual realms you cannot connect to. This disconnection acts as a veil, obscuring the soul's connection to source. The altered states induced by alcohol do nothing but create an illusion of liberation. It's just a temporary escape from the weight of material existence, dulling the mind and keeping the soul trapped in a lower vibrational plane, which limits the ability to access spiritual insight and intuitive clarity. Alcohol inhibits the pineal gland, or your third eye, which facilitates your intuition and spiritual insight. Regular consumption of alcohol dulls this perceptivity, severing the drinker from their inner guidance system. Spiritual practices aim to cultivate awareness, presence, and heightened sensitivity to subtle energies. This is why I, personally, can tell if someone has had one drink or 15 from about 100 miles away. It's like a spidey sense of mine. A human breathalyzer. I'm extremely sensitive to it. Alcohol numbs these faculties in those who drink because it creates a barrier to spiritual progress, which over time leads to feelings of stagnation, confusion, and disconnection from one's higher purpose. Your awareness is diminished, which leaves you caught in a cycle of illusion and temporary gratification. This is one of the most toxic cycles to be caught up in, and one of the hardest to break. Alcohol is also seen as samsara, which is the cycle of suffering. In Eastern spiritual traditions, samsara represents the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, characterized by suffering and attachment. Alcohol is the epitome of this cycle in multiple ways. Its consumption stems from a desire to escape pain and seek pleasure, which are two main causes of attachment, addiction, and suffering. In my experience over 15 years, I found the effects of alcohol are cyclical. It's a temporary high followed by a crash, which only makes you crave repetition. This, in a broader sense, mirrors the pattern of samsara, where quick pleasure is pursued even though the drinker knows it won't provide lasting fulfillment. So they remain caught in a loop of indulgence and dissatisfaction caused by alcohol. At its core, humans' desire for intoxication reflects an unconscious longing for transcendence. The temporary relief and altered state provided by alcohol mimics the bliss and unity experienced in genuine spiritual connection. It's the soul's innate desire to return to its source, but doesn't know how to go about it because there's no congruence. And since alcohol is a material substance, it cannot and will not fulfill this longing, ever. It's fake, false, counterfeit, that only tricks you into momentary relief. It deepens the soul's disconnection from its true essence. It actually keeps the person from doing the inner work that's required to achieve lasting spiritual fulfillment or wholeness with oneself, and only leads to dependency and a false sense of security. Awakening involves recognizing and redirecting this yearning towards practices that will truly help you heal and become whole. By turning inward, embracing discipline, and doing the shadow work, the seeker will find the happiness they unconsciously seek through external substances. This redirection transforms the cycle of addiction into a journey of liberation. Because who really wants to feel chained to anything? Not me. Here lies the paradox of alcohol. In its essence and origins, its alchemical roots and symbolic nature are tied to concepts of refinement. But its misuse often leads to entrapment in lower vibrations. The teachings of spiritual masters consistently emphasize awareness, clarity, and interconnection as the keys to liberation, which are all the qualities alcohol diminish. To transcend the cycle of desire and illusion, alcohol perpetuates. You must recognize what is in your soul and what it's truly seeking. Divine union and union with oneself. This will mark the beginning of your transformative healing journey. Now, if you're still with me, before we go any further, please pause and hit like, subscribe, or share this video with someone you think may need it. It would mean the world to me. Rumi, the great Sufi mystic and poet, often spoke of intoxication in his works, but they were mostly metaphorical, pointing to divine spiritual union. In his writings, wine symbolizes the love of the divine, an elixir that elevates the soul to joy and connection. But he warns that physical intoxication is a false refuge and leads to spiritual numbness, clouding the clarity needed to perceive higher truths. The key is living in the present moment, not escaping it. For me, alcohol represents a significant barrier to mindfulness. It dulls the senses and distances individuals from their own realities, which creates a false sense of liberation. Awareness is the key to transformation, friends. And since alcohol destroys awareness, it makes it impossible to see the truth of who you are. And anyone who enables your addictions is benefiting by you not knowing who you are. Trust me. Alcohol is nothing more than an anesthetic, a tool people use to numb themselves to the pain of life, rather than confronting and resolving it. True freedom comes from embracing the discomfort of growth, from turning inward, from healing. To be mindful, you must be present, and any substance that clouds the mind undermines your ability to evolve spiritually. Alcohol compromises the mind's ability to concentrate and weakens the willpower necessary for any healing journey. The human mind is naturally restless. We don't need any help in that department. All it does is make it harder to still the mind and hear your inner guidance. To me, enlightenment is achieved through mastering the senses and cultivating inner strength. Alcohol distorts perception, diminishes self-control, and is nothing but an obstacle on your journey. You don't drink from the bottle, it drinks from you. So friends, don't let alcohol distract you. True intoxication comes from mastering your demons, healing old wounds, and finding balance. Liberate your soul from the never-ending cycle of suffering. It's time to lift the veil, come out of the illusion, and dry out. Don't do it for me. Do it for you. You'll be glad you did. Until next time, friends. Keep healing. See ya.